I'm Al McFarlane. Welcome to Conversations with Al McFarlane. This edition of Conversations with Al McFarlane is brought to you by Comcast, working to bridge the digital divide through Internet essentials and partnering with organizations across Twin Cities to help make our region an even better place to live, work, and play. Organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Twin Cities. I'm pleased to have as guest today the Chief Executive Officer, Michael Goar, and a colleague, Justin Fogel. Justin is the volunteer manager. Michael, good to see you again. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you, Al. Good to see you.
It's good to have you here and glad that you're part of this conversation. Let me share some of your bio to our listeners and viewers. Michael Goar began as CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters Twin Cities in June of 2016. And he's got an extensive background in education and youth development, including serving as CEO and interim superintendent of Minneapolis Public Schools prior to leading Big Brothers Big Sisters Twin Cities. His work at the school district included launching the Office of Black Male Achievement. Previously, he was executive director of Generation Next, a Minneapolis-based youth development organization that works to close the achievement gap. Earlier in his career, Michael Goar held executive positions and COO roles for both Boston Public Schools and Memphis City Schools. Michael, you've got a degree, a BA in business administration and urban studies from the University of Wisconsin, River Falls, a master's degree in public administration from Mankato State University, and superintendent licensure, and multiple leadership development program certifications at Harvard University. So you're an active community member, passionate about giving back. You're on boards of several important organizations, including Genesis Works, Black Men Teach, and MIA, the Minneapolis Institute of Art. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Good to see you again. And Big Brothers Big Sisters Twin Cities, a legacy and powerful, important organization. Give us the snapshot, vision, mission, the value proposition that the organization brings to community.
Sure. So we are a organization that was founded back in 1920. So in next year, we're going to be turning 100 years old,
Wow.
Believe it or not. So during that time, we have served over 500,000 youth in our community. So predominantly our core essence of our work has been really our surrounding issues of youth development, youth mentoring. So we started our pathway in early days in terms of one-to-one mentoring. So, you know, I don't know, Al, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be here if I did not have a great mentor in my life. And she still guides me in terms of my career path, and I check in with my mentor every day as well. So a lot of our kids in our community don't have that sort of caring adult, providing them with sort of kind of the guidance. So our job, our core mission is to provide that, especially for youth who are deemed by our community or by our sort of state as at risk. And so that is our core constituent youth that we seek and to support. And we support by securing a volunteer to engage with that youth in terms of one-to-one mentoring relationship. And then along with that, we have sort of other sort of methodology of youth development, which includes group mentoring. So not all kids resonate with one-to-one or adults for that matter. So we get into group mentoring. Then we also do extensive work on college readiness, because we strongly believe that the work that we're engaging with our youth should lead to a very specific outcome, which is one of the big measures that we're engaged in is high school graduation rate. We want to make sure our youth that we serve in our community graduate from high school. That's sort of key indicator number one. From there, then we want to ensure that our youth who are graduating from high school have an options beyond high school. So it may be 4 years, or maybe 2-year institutions, or it may be directly into working pipeline. And our job in Big Brothers Big Sisters is nurturing those sort of vision and unlocking the potential of our youth, because we strongly believe all kids in our community are just one caring adult away from becoming an amazing positive story.
Wow.
Okay? So I truly believe that in my heart of heart, because I experienced it as a youngster growing up in South Minneapolis, and as an adult who had received many guidance from many different adults. And I feel strongly that that is sort of big gap that exists in our community. And I truly, as an educator, former educator, do take this to our sort of who I am, my DNA, which is our job in Big Brothers Big Sisters, to really reduce or eliminate the opportunity gap that exists in our community. So we are very proud of our long tradition of history, but we're more importantly, we are really proud of the work that is underway. We have amazing group of board members, amazing staff, and most recently in 2018, we served close to 4,000 youth in our community. So our work is sort of metropolitan area. So we are the largest mentoring organization in the state of Minnesota, and there are yet hundreds, if not thousands, of kids to be served in our community, and we have a huge waiting list. So Al, one of the things that we are really looking forward to connecting with your listening and your audience is we're always looking for more volunteers. That's one of the things that Justin, my colleague here, is in charge of, because what lacks of our ability to serve more kids really will be sort of getting more adults to say, yeah, I commit to being a mentor to a child, and they have that opportunity.
Well, you know, with 100 years of service, you guys have this mentoring thing down to a science. And you've learned some things about what it takes to be a mentor, how you do the mentoring work, working with either one child or working with groups of children or groups of mentors. So you've looked at the spectrum of ways to be of value and to bring that nurturing into the life of a young person. And so one of the challenges now, I think you're saying, is that we simply need more people from all communities, but our community in particular, to step up and to be part of this process. How do you do that? Justin, what's the message? How do you recruit people to join the organization to become mentors?
That's a great question. And I think just what Michael is alluding to is that our program, our mission, this value proposition, as you say, it grows in direct proportion to how many people volunteer. And some of the new and exciting things that have come on board in the last year is this new offering of programs. So we have a little bit for everyone, whether it's a long-term one-to-one commitment, whether it's mentoring in the arts for a shorter term period. We believe that this way of volunteering, that there's a little bit in it for everyone.
You're also locating your organization into North Minneapolis too. Tell me about that.
I mean, just to piggyback on what Justin said and talk about our location, I think it is critical that we also have sort of wide spectrum of volunteers coming into our organization. And just reason that is so important for us in making sure that all community is represented as volunteers is that a vast majority of our kids that we serve are kids of color, and disproportionately, close to 85% of our kids. And that's nothing bad about that, because they need our services, and we're there to provide our services. But one of the things that we're working really hard is to sort of volunteers from all segments and all community to participate. We don't want one community to overrepresent that particular community and other community to be underrepresented. So we're working really hard to make sure that we do active community engagement to ensure that we diversify our volunteers. And what I mean by that is sort of inclusive nature of our work is sort of both race and gender and an age as well. So we're a very inclusive organization. We value wisdom of sort of adults who's been around, understanding what is needed to be successful in life.
What are some of the barriers to getting, say, Black or Latino or Asian parents and adults to come? Is it a question of making the proper invitation? Do they fully know and understand what the organization does and how they can support it? What do you think are some of the challenges?
I think it's a multitude of challenges. I think that we have not very good job as an organization to really speak to our community members about value of Big Brothers Big Sisters. So I think that we are sort of retooling how we communicate to a very specific community, especially in volunteer perspective, because we get a lot of calls or referrals from a lot of our parents. And our parents are very much interested in seeking that sort of mentoring support. But also they have indicated a level of interest of, hey, if I would like to have African-American male between age of this and this. There's some parents are very specific in terms of what they're looking for. So we are sort of kind of revamping how we communicate, how we talk about sort of volunteerism in our organization. And I realize sort of lots of folks are involved and there are many amazing opportunities to volunteer. And we think that our work has a tremendous impact because you can see immediate result. You're spending time with another human being, and that human being is going to give you feedback immediately about connection or lack thereof. So one of the things that you talked about, so when I started our work, is looked at kind of where are we physically present. That also makes a difference. So currently right now, we are in a place I feel like that really people don't understand, community don't understand, sort of connection between us and the work itself. And so one of the things that we have done through our strategic planning and meeting with our board and meeting with our staff is say, hey, given the opportunity that our lease in current space is going to run out in a year or two, let's think ahead. I think we should be in the community where people could tangibly see that we are a large nonprofit with a large footprint, not some sort of profit that is sort of off someplace else and come down once in a while or talk to our kids. I think that sort of is a perception. We want to dispel that perception.
This is neither imperial nor missionary, right?
Right.
You want to reflect the reality of being in and of the community, intertwined, connected, knitted tightly.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
to do that, you're going to actually put yourself physically in a way that you haven't been before.
Yeah, I think it will enhance the way we think, but more importantly, that I think community, our opportunity to connect with the community, be far more powerful. And we are an organization that is very blessed, and we are not just a mentoring organization. We are a youth development organization that happen to use mentoring as a tool. Right? So we have been engaging with stakeholders. So we are moving. There was sort of a statement that we made with the board support, and now we are really pleased to say that we're going to be moving to North Minneapolis, and we're next week we'll be closing on our building. And thank you. And now hard part, Alice, I got to raise money.
There we go.
All right, hey, so that work is underway, and we have an amazing board that is helping us and moving that needle. But we are very comfortable and very happy, and our team are very excited. The prospect of being in the community and being involved and be part of the community is so important to us.
So let's talk about how do you resource organizations like that. You go to the corporate community, you go to individuals, to churches, what are the sources do you have to fund this important work?
Our organization is exclusively funded through private donations and corporate and foundational donation. We're pursuing other funding opportunity with state and other entities, but right now the revenue that we get is through partnerships. It's about talking to corporate funders, individual funders, saying, hey, we are Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we're doing X, Y, and Z. Here's our outcome. Right. And we would like you to fund our organization. So we're doing that right now. And then also we're exploring opportunity for private-public funding opportunity, collaboration, because I think there are sort of resources that I think that we are also pursuing at state level. We think that we have amazing results. We think that we can serve a lot more kids. And what holds us back are two things, which are volunteers and money.
So the question is, how can people get involved with both?
Yeah.
What do you need to do? Let's make the invitation to our listeners and to our viewers. How do they get involved to support this important work?
Yeah. So I'll have Justin talk about sort of what does it mean to be a volunteer in our organization.
Yeah. So first and foremost, just to piggyback on the earlier conversation about moving and being more community-based, Throughout this next year, we have a goal to do a lot of our just kind of initial information sessions where people can learn a little bit more in depth, ask questions about our program. We're going to be hosting those at gathering spaces in Minneapolis. So libraries, common places where people gather, we're going to be there, and those will be listed on our website, actually. So people can look for those over the next upcoming months. And then we have programs too. One of the biggest needs is in our community-based program, the traditional one-to-one long-term mentorship. But then I want people to know too that we're involved in a lot of schools in Minneapolis, in St. Paul, handful of schools, handful of community-based nonprofits that we partner with for what we call the Free Arts Program. And that's a really great way for people to connect right in their local community. And these are areas where people may not have necessarily even known that Big Brothers Big Sisters has quite a presence. So lots of ways to plug into local schools, nonprofits, community, and all of that information is available on our website.
Website is?
www.bigstwincities.org.
There we go. I love that,
Yeah.
BIGS, right?
Yeah.
Listen, gentlemen, we're out of time, but thank you so much for your work. Thank you for being here. Continued success in this important work. Justin Fogel, Volunteer Manager, Michael Goar, CEO of Big Brothers and Big Sisters Twin Cities.
Thank you.
Thank you. Continued
Thank you.
success. I'm Al McFarlane. This is Conversations with Al McFarlane. We'll see you next time.